laser sights are an essential firearms training tool, clearly correcting and improving the two most important shooting fundamentals, aiming and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
All right, here's another hour that we did at Gunsight a few weeks ago, right after the election that brought us President-elect Donald Trump. All righty, nobody here but us deplorables. I'm visited by Ken Campbell, my friend. We're at Gunsight, of course. You know, we're out here in what I consider to be the happiest place on earth. And Ken is the Chief Operating Officer of Gunsight, formerly sheriff. How long were you a sheriff?
Indiana has term limits, and I did 2 terms.
And before sheriff. That, you were law enforcement before
right.
that?
I worked for the sheriff's office for 35 years.
Wow.
I started when I was 19, working in the jail, and worked my way up till I was honored to be elected sheriff.
Holy cow, that's a long time in law enforcement. And you end up, I mean, you were running, you had SWAT team. I mean, you weren't just a flat-foot running out there. You were a high-speed, low-drag, shoot-'em-up kind of a guy.
I don't know, I was high-speed, low-drag, but we did a lot of good things in a great county, and that I
always like that.
America.
You talk to the right law enforcement guys. They say, "Well, yeah, we did a lot of good things." Going, okay, I know what that means.
Well,
you were doing what it took.
The sheriff that hired me was a great man, a fellow named Ern Hudson, and he referred to himself as a lawman. And I thought that's the best way to describe. And I hope at some point in my career I lived up to that term.
Yep, I like that. That's very good. Well, obviously, we're sitting out here at one of my favorite places in the planet, Gunsight. Of course, it's just a fun place. You guys have seen, and I think you are a pretty good barometer of what's going on in the country with firearms ownership and people taking a look at security, taking care of themselves, all of that. Talk about what's been happening over the last several years with growth in classes out here.
Without fail. Of course, we can talk about females in the shooting industry.
Absolutely.
And that's very common knowledge that there are more and more women involved. And we certainly see that. But more so, we're seeing more folks that you would not have thought of 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago of owning a gun or being a gun person.
Give me an idea what you're talking
about. Whether it's a soccer mom or whether it's a businessman, mm-hmm. that's not grown up in a gun
environment. Didn't grow up shooting.
He's grown up in an urban environment.
Right.
Parents didn't shoot,
okay.
And so on. But now they're recognizing the world may not be the place they once thought it was or hoped it to be, and they have recognized they need to take some steps to be able to take care of themselves. And thankfully, they're sort of following that dictum that Colonel Cooper brought forward, in that just because you own a piano does not make you a musician.
Right. Just owning a gun doesn't make you a gunfighter or even a shooter.
No.
At that point.
Too many folks will go out and they'll go to their reputable gun store, they'll buy that gun, they'll shoot it a half a dozen times, and then they'll secrete it away in their underwear drawer and think when bad things happen, I'm gonna be able to respond.
I'm ready, because I've watched all the TV shows. I know how people handle guns there.
That's right.
You talk to the folks here. In many cases, is there like a precipitous event, or is it what I have heard is people just say, I'm just kind of getting a sense of things?
Exactly. In prior times, it was something happened. There's a family that has been out here many, many times, husband, wife, and their sons. Mm-hmm. And it was a result of a friend being murdered. This happened to be in Phoenix, and they decided it was time for them to take care of things.
Right.
That was some years ago, but now it's more of the state of the world. I'm uncomfortable, whether they live in a rural or an urban area, and they're recognizing I need to be able to take care of myself, whether that's an earthquake, a severe
tsunami
power loss.
This morning.
Right, the tsunami, a hurricane, a tornado, where there aren't going to be services available.
And I'm from Louisiana. I was,
absolutely.
Katrina. I mean, that was like the biggest, most videotaped example of what happens when there's no one there.
You are your first responder.
Yes.
You are, whether you're the man of the family, whether you're the mom in the family, whether you're by yourself, you are your first responder.
Each one of us is a first responder. Each person.
Absolutely. And you've got to be able to take care of yourself for your life, health, and safety.
Toward that end, I would offer that don't also think that, well, we have a person in our family who can function as the first responder. No, each person has to be that person.
Absolutely. I'll give you a good example. In my prior life, I liked having the deputies' wives trained up or in firearms. Even though they've got a great husband or wife that's a deputy, they need to be able to pick up that gun that their spouse carries and be able to take care of them in the event something bad happens. You've got to be able to do that. And the same thing with you and your wife, me and my wife. Fortunately, my wife's multiple gun sight trained, go figure. But they've got to be able to pick up whatever that is and fight with it.
Exactly. Ken, hold on a second here. I want to take a quick break. When we come back, we want to talk about, I want you to tell the story about Wednesday morning at Gunsight after the election. We're talking with Ken Campbell from Gunsight. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back.
What's the best self-defense gun? It's the one you have with you. The Taurus Curve is the most comfortable gun you can carry, so you will have it with you. It actually curves to fit your body. Ultra comfortable, snag-free, made in the USA, built in light and laser. 10.2 ounces of 380 firepower. Double action only. The world's first and only curved firearm. Details at TaurusUSA.com.
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals. And you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So, get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
Hey, we're giving away stuff. Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. We're giving away stuff. We're doing our Gun Talk giveaway, Ruger's new gun giveaway. We're giving away a gun every week of this month. First week is a Mark IV pistol. Week 2, Ruger American Pistol Combat. Week 3, LCP 2. Week 4, the cool SR 1911. You just go to Gun Talk's page on Facebook, Gun Talk Media on Facebook, and like our page to enter for a chance to win. If you don't do Facebook, can't help you. That's how the contest is being run. We're out at Gunsight visiting with Ken Campbell, the Chief Operating Officer out here. Friend of mine, I've trained with Ken. I actually took the 250 class under you, Ken, I guess a couple years ago or so when we were, actually it was when the anniversary.
What was 1911.
The
100th anniversary of the 1911.
That's right.
So that was March of 2011.
5 years ago. Yeah, sure was. We had a bunch of fun then. Now, you're out here, you got all these classes going on this week. Everybody is training all day on Tuesday, and they're thinking about the election, and they stay up late, and they come in bleary-eyed on Wednesday because they got to shoot. And you walk into them,
Right. We've got roughly 50 folks in our classroom because it's Wednesday morning. That's mindset lecture at Gunsight. That's the critical lecture. And I walk in there and everybody kind of looks up and I say in a loud and clear voice, I'm not sure about the rest of you, but I'm feeling pretty deplorable this morning. And that got a cheer so loud that Susan in the pro shop in the building next door could hear it. So it was a very good morning. It was just a good week altogether. We had a successful election. We had the Marine Corps birthday.
That's right.
And we had Veterans Day.
And Veterans Day, absolutely. You had an awful lot of things going on there.
We had a lot of celebrations going on.
Question. People know you as a handgun school for the most part. But if that's true, then they don't know a lot of the things you guys do.
They don't. We've got 26 ranges over 2,800 acres, and we can teach things from contact distance, whether it's with pistols or pocket pistols, or push and shove, defensive tactics and edged weapons, to shooting things over 2,000 yards. And everything in between. We do levels of pistol, we do levels of carbine, we do levels of rifle, we do levels of shotgun. The rifle starts out is a bolt gun, our 270 general rifle class. It's perfect for a scout rifle. And then once you get into the longer range things, in excess of 500-600 yards, then we get into long range light rifle, extreme long range rifle. We do hunting training for safari prep,
right,
North American game prep.
Right.
We do predator defense for some of the
the Forest Service guys.
The Forest Service up in Alaska.
Yeah.
And they're all shooting slug guns, 45-70s,
it's up
big
close
bore pistols.
Because you can't see far in those woods that they're walking through.
And even for that, we've got robots, remote control cars, if you will.
Yeah.
We put our targets on them, and we put that bear on that remote control car, and they're charging them. And all of a sudden, their marksmanship skills they found aren't what they thought they were.
Yeah, when something's charging at you, all of a sudden you get brain fade and helmet fire.
Yes, absolutely. So you want a class in it, we probably offer. One of our new classes this year is emergency medical based on active shooter.
Oh, interesting.
We have an active shooter class also, citizen response to terrorist active shooter. But in the active shooter class does not have a firearms prerequisite because it's not a shooting school. And the bad thing happens, you defend yourself, you shelter in place in your office, your workplace, but now you're waiting on the cavalry to come, but somebody's hurt. What can you do to keep them alive for an hour or so?
Well, and really, that's usually all you need is an hour, and you can get the medical help in there.
Right. Usually, folks can get in there. So this covers tourniquets, gunshot wounds, dehydration, tension pneumothorax,
airways,
and so airways. Absolutely, the important things, and it teaches thinking. We teach them how to stitch.
Oh,
now again, it's not like
med school. No,
it's not.
But we're gonna keep the bleeding down here.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
Hold on a second here, Ken. I got Jeffrey's called in line 2 out of Yuma, Arizona, not far down the road here from you in Arizona. Hey, Jeffrey, what are you thinking on your wish list for Donald Trump?
Well, Tom, mine is I would like to see our conservative-controlled House, Senate, and presidency to put through one law for America. That is a 100% 50 states.
Constitutional carry in 50 states. No permit required. All right. I appreciate it, Jeffrey. It's an interesting, you've got constitutional carry in Arizona now.
We do.
And I've been reading all the reports of all the shootouts and the blood running in the streets as a result of that. Not.
Yeah, you must be reading liberal newspapers now, Tom, because I sure haven't seen anything like that.
It's interesting, and I'm not trying to put any words in your mouth because I have this interesting take of I absolutely think that is a great idea, that the government should not be involved in that. And yet, at the same time, I'm such a proponent of training. I would like for everyone who carries to have some level of knowledge, however that's acquired, on obviously what's legal, what's smart, how to get out of things, but also it'd be kind of cool if they had learned to shoot at the same time. So it's kind of this dichotomy I live in.
I'm a big Constitution believer. I held a constitutional office, and I'm very proud of that. But as training is important. What the crucial part is we've got to make sure that the folks who make those laws don't make the training so difficult or so expensive that the average guy or gal, earth people, as Pat Rogers called them, can't afford it. We don't just want the Oprahs of the world who speak negatively about guns with her personal security detail behind her. only they can afford it. We want it so the guy and gal lives down the street.
And in some states, it's pretty pricey. By the time you get your license, you pay $100, $200 for that, get fingerprinted, photographed, got to pay for that. Then you take the class, which is anywhere from $100 to $300, depending on the state you're in. And honestly, $300 to $500 is more than a lot of people can pay for that.
It is. When you've
That's
got
a lot
that
of money.
family, you're a single parent, you got that family, you're trying to put food on the table, pay for your health insurance, and so on. It's hard, but gosh darn it, this is a life-saving skill you're learning, and just because you own that gun, I've been on a lot of calls in my prior career where one of the first things I want to do is let's put your gun away. And we'll talk. Everything's okay now, because I'm fearful of their nerves, their excitement,
Sure.
which are normal things.
Sure.
But with training, those things can be bettered.
Yep, exactly right. Just thinking about the laws that people are saying, and what could we get done here? One of the things that people talk about SBRs and silencers a lot, and it kind of spins me back to where we are at Gunsight, is you guys actually teach shooting with full auto.
We do.
You have some classes. Now, I know you have some classes that are not available to those of us, because you actually, and it always struck me as weird when I first learned of it, the military sends people here to train.
They do.
And I always think, well, gee, doesn't the military have training? Well, they do, but why would they send people here?
A lot of that is train the trainer.
Okay.
They'll send their folks here or we can do some things here without the restrictions they have on their military
Government
bases.
regulations.
Absolutely. So that's very fruitful there. And if you only take training from within, your training becomes incestuous.
Sure, makes sense.
And here,
I was taught this way. I will teach this way. Yes.
Right. And here we've got 60 instructors, adjunct faculty guys and gals, come in from around the country, predominantly law enforcement, military, active duty, or retired, and they're bringing in what they've experienced, what they see, what they've learned.
That's a lot of collective knowledge, experience.
It is hundreds and hundreds of years of knowledge. Well, we've been here 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary,
Right.
and nobody else in the world can say that. But we've been here 40 years, and with all due respect to the late Colonel Cooper, who founded us, and his widow, Mrs. Cooper, who still lives here and comes and sees us, and our current owners, Buzz and Sonia Mills, for keeping us going, we've been here 40 years because of the great instructors and what they bring to the table.
And I would hasten to add, because the teaching at Gunsight also evolved.
Yes.
It's not stuck in 40 years ago. People don't understand that what Colonel Cooper taught was such a radical departure from what was in existence at the time. It was FBI stance, one-handed shooting with a revolver and a crouch. And now we've got guys drawing semi-automatic and shooting two-handed and beating everybody. And it's kind of like, what was that?
Yeah.
But you're not stuck where that was.
No, the modern technique has evolved. And I'll give you a prime example. I've been very fortunate this year as I worked on our 40th anniversary video. I've watched hours and hours and hours of old VHS tape and so on that we had and Mrs. Cooper gave us and so on. And I can tell you how much the modern technique has evolved by merely watching those. We aren't the Gun of the Month Club, and we aren't the Technique of the Week bunch. The modern technique does evolve, but it only evolves based on what our experiences are, what we understand, what we have good after-action reports on, what's happening out there in the world, whether it's Detroit or whether it's Afghanistan.
Right.
And we evolved the modern technique based on that. But it has evolved and will continue to evolve, whether we're shooting a 1911 or whether we're shooting a Han Solo blaster in the next 40 years.
Speaking of that, what do you see? What are people bringing? I mean, traditionally, people say, well, Gunsight is a 1911 school. Well, that's not true anymore.
No, it's not been.
What
for
do people
years.
bring here?
And even in the early days, there were people coming through with 4-inch Model 19s and Model 66s.
And high powers.
Right, absolutely. But Colonel Cooper was a big believer in the 1911 pistol, and it is a good pistol. But we see a lot of Glocks, and we taught the 25th anniversary class for the Glock. So when people say, well, we don't want to teach other guns, well,
you taught the 25th anniversary for Glock.
For Glock, exactly. We see a lot of M&Ps. We see a lot of Ruger pistols, the SR 1911s in there. Again, we're back to 1911s, but we do see the striker-fired pistols. We see a lot of those in the various manufacturers.
So you can teach whatever somebody brings. You can teach as long as it's a good fighting pistol.
Exactly. We don't want sub-caliber pistols. We don't want 380s in a 250 class. We don't want guns that are not reliable. And some folks will say, what should I go out and buy? And one of the first suggestions I make is, I'm not trying to make more money for us, but we could rent you a pistol for a week.
Try before you buy.
Exactly. And you can go into the gun shop and be an educated consumer. When you go in looking at your Gun Dealio app, right? And you're looking for that gun, but you're doing it as an educated consumer as opposed to just relying on what the gun shop suggests.
Yeah, or my buddy said this is the thing to get.
Yes.
And it may be perfect for your buddy, but it may be not right for you, and especially not right for your wife.
Right.
It's the old deal. I always tell the guys, I say, I want to buy a gun for my wife. I said, I'm sorry, you don't get to.
Yeah.
I said, you could pay for it, but you don't get to choose it.
No, not at all. I said that we don't like seeing the subcaliber pistols. That's not 100% true because we also do pocket pistol courses.
Oh.
And we don't do a lot of those, one a year, one every other year or so, but it's based on the J-frames, the detective specials, the
reality of
LCPs,
what people are carrying,
LCRs, and so on.
Right.
Yeah, based on that, and it's a different class. But we want you to have a 250 pistol class first because that's the foundation.
Okay. A lot of the 250 class, I try to explain to people. They say, "What is it? How can you spend 5 days doing it?" A lot of it, frankly, is the what do I do when what I plan to do doesn't work anymore.
Absolutely. We focus on mindset, gun handling, and marksmanship.
Yeah, and when that doesn't work, now what am I going to do?
Exactly. How do I fix this? Or in the mindset part of it, I don't have to go do this because I've seen it. My alertness made that stand out to me. I had a plan, and I was able to walk across the street. I didn't have to go into
back up and explain what you just said, because we're not talking about when you're in a gunfight. We're talking about how you avoided
absolutely
a gunfight or an altercation of some sort.
The only tool is not just the one that's here in my holster. It's the one that's between my ears. And we teach in our mindset lecture the 7 principles of personal defense. And for instance, the first one is alertness. If I cannot have my head lost in my iPhone as I'm walking down the street, like so many of these zombie-like people are.
With your earbuds in your ears, yes, blocking out any kind of senses that,
And then when, not if, when it happens to you, you're completely surprised, completely taken aback, and very well...
Behind the curve.
You are, and you probably can't catch up.
Yes, that's it. You probably can't catch up. Ken, hold on a second here. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're talking with Ken Campbell from Gunsight. Our number here is 866-TALK-GUN. If you'd like to join us, if you've got a question about personal defense, taking classes, rifles, shotguns, pistols, doesn't matter. Ken's your guy. Also, we'll talk about this election. Holy cow, am I ever a happy camper? I mean, we're both just, you should see us. We're both over here just grinning ear to ear. We're just having such a ball. I know you are too. It is amazing. Welcome to the world of deplorables. Proud to be one. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. We're going to continue with our recorded show that we did right after the election, getting our thoughts and reactions as we head into 2017. Oh, I wish you were here. I know you wish you were here, too. We're at Gunsight. We're having fun. We're here for the Colt event, and they've been introducing some new products here. But part of what they've been showing is ammunition, because there is now Colt ammunition. We're also visiting with Ken Campbell from Gunsight, still with us. We're joined by Mike McNett from Double Tap Ammo and Colt ammunition. Mike,
that's right. Yeah, we just launched Colt ammunition, and we're really pretty excited to be doing it with the guys at Colt. They're really fantastic people, and we've developed that ammo from the ground up with them.
Well, that's a good point, because this is not just rebranded ammo that you already had in the line, right? This is stuff you developed for Colt.
Absolutely. It actually takes a different direction. From the Double Tap has always done a premium, full power, full high performance, speedy, high energy ammunition.
Right.
The Colt branded ammunition is specifically ammunition that is easier to shoot, and we let the technology of the bullets do the talk in
lower recoil.
Absolutely. So,
but still self-defense.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's easier on the shooter. It's easier to get lower split times, get the rounds on target,
sure,
and it's easier to practice, especially with these little tiny guns that are out there and people are carrying. What we do is we rely on the bullet technology.
And the bullet technology has changed a lot in just the last few years.
That's right. That's right. And
so you can get good performance out of the bullets with lower velocity. How do they work out of short barrel guns?
Very well. So I'll take, for example, our 9mm bullet. We just finished development on that bullet. We're making a lot of our own brass and bullets now. And that bullet has exactly the same penetration, whether it's going 1,050 feet per second or whether it's going 1,300 feet per second. The difference is the size of the wound channel and how much it expands, and of course how much tissue it displaces. Sure. But the actual penetration on that specific round is 15 inches, and it doesn't matter what speed it's going in that window. It's pretty neat to have that available to us.
Interesting. So, and this is not... And you were telling us earlier, this is not actually even plus P ammo, right?
That's right. Yeah, you hit it on the nail on the head. We have no plus P ammo in the Colt lineup. It's all standard pressure and standard velocity for the caliber.
But good performance because of the new bullet technology.
That's correct. You got it. And the neat part about it is it's still loaded on the same machines with the same modern equipment that our premium ammo is, and the same personnel.
Same people doing the inspections.
That's right. That's right. So what you'd expect from Double Tap and the premium, expensive high-end stuff, that you still get that. Mm-hmm. You're just getting a different performance level on the recoil end, but not on the receiving end.
Ken Campbell, gun sight. What's the value of having less recoil in a load that's going to work for you?
You're like reading my mind. That's exactly what I was waiting on a chance here to jump in and say.
Yeah.
It makes it, when the student doesn't experience that big hard push when they're firing that round, we're not having to fight the flinch, and it makes our job easier because they're getting more pleasure out of it. Not only are they seeing that accurate shot, it's a result of they're not having to learn how to control that recoil as much.
And frankly, it doesn't hurt.
No.
Exactly.
I mean,
some folks are recoil sensitive.
Yeah, I am. When you get to a certain point, I'm not like Mike. Mike will shoot a 505 Gibbs and giggle. I mean, everybody else shoots it and has to get up off the ground. I mean, you love big guns. I know you do. But most people, you take a .357 Magnum in a particular typical carry gun. I don't care who you are. It's not really fun to shoot big loads out of that for very long. But you go shoot some standard 38 special, not plus P out of that, you can do that all day long, can't you?
Absolutely.
And at that point, learning takes place.
It does. And it occurs faster.
Huh.
Yeah, the ability to shoot and not like you guys are saying, get flinch or get scared or get apprehensive to take the next shot. Mm-hmm. I think that translates into a defensive scenario or any type of situation like that where someone you train like you practice, or excuse me, you train like you in the real life, you practice like you play type of thing.
Yeah, you're going to do in real life what you've done on the range, are you not?
That's right.
And we've all seen those videos on YouTube where they take their friends out and give them a big bore gun of some sort.
Jackasses.
Absolutely. That's one of the dumbest things they can do, and you want to turn somebody away from shooting, that's exactly the way to do it.
Yeah. Give them something that's fun to shoot, easy to shoot, doesn't hurt them, and you've got your practice or your training ammo now that duplicates very nearly your defensive ammo, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You can pretty much plug and play either round, and it's going to shoot to the same point of impact, point of aim, whether it's the FMJ or whether it's our defensive hollow point. And so literally you can go with a less expensive FMJ and practice all you want and not have to worry about how is this going to shoot differently from what I've been training with when you actually load your carry gun up for the morning commute.
All right, different question. Wednesday morning, you wake up, you get the election results. How happy is Mike?
I'll tell you two things. I stayed up all night until about 2:30 Mountain Time, make sure that I saw that speech. But number two, man, I'm telling you, I was really happy. Our liberty is safe for another 8 years, I believe. I think we've got the right guys in the right place right now, and we got a guy that's in there with Trump. I think that's smart enough to know hey, if I don't know enough about this, I'm going to get really smart guys around me that know how to do this. And I don't know if we had that before.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think that this new administration is going to surprise us. I think it's going to be really cool.
Hold that thought. We'll come back in just a second. If you'd like to join this conversation, 866-TALK-GUN. What was your morning like on Wednesday when you woke up and realized, yeah, that was not a dream? I actually did watch the whole thing. It was incredible. And now I get to go to the office and just smile all day long. 866-TALK-GUN.
Nosler has been a leader in bullets and ammunition for decades and keeps growing with new product introductions that follow this tradition. Accurate, highly effective bullets and ammo for long-range shooting, precision rifle competition, and big game hunting. To be the first to hear about new product releases and promotions, follow Nosler on Facebook and Instagram and become part of the conversation. You won't settle, and neither will we. Nosler.com. Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. Dury'sGuns.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
The Ruger Lcr Ex is a variation of the LCR that features an external hammer, allowing it to be fired in single action mode. The Lcr Ex can also be fired in double action mode. It features a monolithic frame made from aerospace grade 7000 series aluminum, a patented Ruger friction reducing cam that results in a smooth, non-stacking trigger pull, and a patent pending polymer fire control housing that significantly reduces weight and helps reduce recoil. The Ruger Lcr Ex Revolver, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Guess what we're doing during the break? We're talking about guns and ammo. There's a real surprise for you. Visited with Ken Campbell and Mike McNett, gun sight and double tap ammo, now Colt ammo. Doesn't get any better than that. We were talking about the 44 Magnum with light loads versus heavy loads. And I've had the same thing. You go shoot the big heavy loads, and after 6 rounds, you actually can have the tremors. It's hard to pull the trigger. You put light loads in it, and it's just fun. You made a point during the break that was interesting, the value of Mike's defensive loads that are low recoil, about multiple hits.
Multiple hits. It's just a pistol. So you've got to expect, unless you get a central nervous system hit, it's going to take multiple hits with a pistol. Mm-hmm. Right? So I've got to be able to shoot as quickly as I can get accurate hits on target, no faster. So with that reduced recoil, I'm going to be able to get those sights right back on target again to get another round and another round and another round in there.
Shoot until there's no longer a threat.
Exactly, till my threat goes away.
Right.
And it's easier to do if I'm not fighting the recoil.
And it doesn't matter if you're using a big gun, you're probably still going to need multiple hits because a handgun is still just a handgun.
It's physics at that point.
Yeah, it really is. Got a question for you. I'm going to switch on you, Mike.
Sure.
Bear guns. We always laugh about this. I just bought a gun. Come on. A guy was just asking me about, he's getting up to 357 Magnum. Your hard cast lead loads. And Gunsight actually teaches, predator defense and hunting with handguns and all of that. Why? Because hollow points are the new thing. That's the hot thing. That's what everybody wants to talk about. What's the cool hollow point? Why does a hard cast lead bullet work so well against big critters and for hunting?
Well, if the hard cast bullet's properly made, the knee-plat on the front end.
That's the front flat part.
That's right. You want it to be large, so it cuts a larger wound channel, and the wide flat nose design is made specifically if it's with a hard enough lead.
You got to have the right mix of antimony, the right alloy in there.
That's right. And we heat treat them, and we go to 21 Burnell. And it keeps them from breaking, but also makes them stiff enough they won't deform on bone.
Right.
And if that all holds straight, that's what ours do, then you get straight line penetration no matter what. If you shot enough gel with hollow points, sometimes it curves and moves, and it doesn't matter whose bullet it is. That's what happens sometimes.
Right.
The hard cast, when you shoot it, goes straight as an arrow. So if you got a heart shot, you got a heart shot. You don't have a heart shot, you missed. And then on top of that, it actually. When it's hitting the tissue, it's not pushing. It's not pushing it around.
It's actually there's a lot of trauma that goes on.
That's right.
Even though it's not expanding, you're getting. Isn't that what Elmer Keith was talking about? It's like 60 years ago.
Yep.
Big bullets. Let out a lot of blood. Let in a lot of cold air.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And the wide flat nose design that we use, it actually does more damage than just the size of the meat plat or the front end of the bullet. When it hits, the faster it's going, the more trauma it does around, and the more permanent wound channel you get around the actual bullet. And so you can get, like with our 10 millimeter, it's going 1300 when it hits. It actually creates about an inch wide wound channel, permanent wound channel, not temporary stretch cavity, a wound channel.
Wow.
And it actually damages, and because when it hits, it's the blunt force trauma as it's cutting through.
And this is not conjecture. We know that from all the people who've used these for hunting critters around the world. Hold on a second here. I got a guy that's been on hold for a while. I'd like to get him in. Leonard is on line one. He's in Texas somewhere with a thought about Donald Trump and where we're going with this next administration. Leonard, thank you so much for your patience. What's on your wish list for the Donald Trump administration?
Well, I have a couple of concerns. One, I'd love to see a national conceal and carry law passed. Another is the level of threat today is, larger than it's ever been. And a criminal doesn't need permits or permission to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
But as an American and as a human being, I want the right to protect my family. The issue with me is I'm an ex-con. I paid my debt to society. It's been over 10 years. It was a violent crime, but, my life has changed since then. I was deemed okay to come back to society, so why can't I get all my American rights back? Be able to protect my family. My wife can't even have a gun in the house because I live with my wife.
It's an interesting point, Leonard. Look, I appreciate the call. One of the things that, guys, I have said for years is, look, a system where you say, okay, you're going to serve this amount of time, and when you get out, there's also a life sentence attached to that on the loss of rights. That seems wrong to me. And I'm looking at this from my perspective. Ken, you're a lifelong law enforcement officer. I don't know what your take is on that, because you're a pro-liberty guy and a law enforcement guy.
It's got to be... you got to look at the whole picture of it all.
Okay.
And certainly I don't know your caller here, but we've got to know what the whole picture of it was and what the history of the person was before you can really look at that. Once you can get that 10,000-foot view.
Right. As it is now, they can't get their gun rights back because that was eliminated from ATF funding. But maybe we could at least get it back to where that can at least be examined.
There's a review, exactly.
There'd be a review process.
Right.
I think we could all agree that's a good idea.
Not everybody in jail are evil people.
Yep, exactly right. Hold on here, guys. Take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll be talking a bit more about ammo, about shooting, about the things that you want to talk about. If you'd like to join us, it's real simple. It's 866-TALK-GUN. We are at Gunsight. If we drop out now and then, it's because we're at the end of a long road, although it's paved now, Ken.
It is
nice
paved.
Job. And we are broadcasting over a barbed wire fence, doing the best we can do here. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. All right, we're back with you here, Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk, of course. At Gunsight, we're talking with Ken Campbell. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Gunsight. Now, Ken, I know that you guys get people here who say, well, I shoot isosceles, and so there's really no point in me coming here. But the truth of it is, I think you guys will teach almost anything. I mean, you got people with different body builds, et cetera. But the essence of having good instructors is having the ability to teach. And so pretty much whatever somebody wants to do, you'll do that.
What we're teaching is a balanced fighting stance so that you can shoot and move. And you can get these multiple hits on target.
Got to be able to move. Got to be able to move. That's a critical part.
Shoot, move, communicate.
Right.
And reload.
All right. So you get somebody in here who's a 105-pound woman with a slight frame, and you get a Mike McNett who is a wrestler, right? You wrestled, and I mean, you got this big, broad chest and these big arms. These two people cannot necessarily get into the same position when they're shooting.
Absolutely. And I'll go back, I mentioned earlier, the great gun sight instructors. Mm-hmm. That's what our guys and gals do. They read that person, read their shape, size, condition, and so on. Or you get a wounded warrior. Let's talk about them.
That's true. And you teach those veteran classes.
Or people that are just have some disabilities. We work with what God gave you, and we teach you to fight with the gun you brought. And if you're doing it with a Weaver, fine. If you're doing it with isosceles, that's fine. We're not going to take a rebar and drive it through your feet in the ground and make you bend your arms certain ways. We're going to suggest trying our methods, and please do.
Give it a try.
Right, give it a try. I've been to Bill Rogers' school before. Mm-hmm. Great school, great instructor. He's a big isosceles shooter. Try as I might to shoot isosceles. And the instructors were coming up and correcting me. And I was trying to shoot that isosceles.
Didn't work for you.
It just didn't work for me. Now, it works great for other people. It didn't for me. Finally, the range master said, leave him alone. He's shooting okay. But I paid my money to go there to learn his method.
Have an open mind, no matter where you go, here or any other place. Listen, there's a reason you went there. Listen to it. You may incorporate all of it. You may incorporate part of it. But if you incorporate none of it, you probably are a little bit foolish.
You've thrown your money away. When Mike talks bullets, and I'm already got in my mind, I'm going to have to need some of these 10-millimeter hard cast. I listen, because that's what the guy knows.
That's his world, man.
It is.
He's my ammo guru, I got to tell you. I mean, this week, no kidding, I sent Mike an email and says, I need some ammo, dude. I mean, I'm buying ammo from Mike. I mean, we're good friends and we do business, but when I need ammo, I'm calling you and buying ammo, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it really is as simple as that. So when I need good ammo, he's my go-to guy, you know. But now, the other thing is there's a lot of good ammo. Would you say that if you're buying premium ammo today, you're getting much better ammo than was available 10 years ago across the board?
Yeah. On the higher end of the scale,
yes.
You are getting a better product, and that goes from the bullet and powder technology both.
Yeah, cheap ammo is still cheap ammo. It's range ammo or whatever.
That's right.
But when you want good ammo, everybody's making better ammo, and it's actually has pushed you because you got to keep making really good ammo, don't you?
That's right. We got to stay on the tip of the spear, try and stay as innovative as possible, and try to make relevant ammo that gets the customer what he really needs.
How do you know?
We have literally, we listen to our customers. We have great customer service, and if you come in and give us a suggestion via email or via the phone, we really do listen to it. And a lot of our loads are customer driven. We really do think that a grassroots growth of our products is very important to our business.
The person on the ground probably knows what he or she wants if they have some experience at it.
Absolutely.
There you go. DoubleTapAmmo.com for that ammo. And, of course, they got the Colt ammo, which is a very cool concept. I love what you're doing with that. That's neat. And we'll be able to announce some more things in the next few weeks on some of that because there's some pretty cool Colt products about to come out.
Exactly.
Ken, thank you so much for hosting us here. This is always fun. Man.
Always happy to have you, Tom. Come back and take another class.
I'm going to do that. We're going to come back and we're going to shoot up a bunch of ammo and have a bunch of fun. Okay?
Double tap ammo, of course.
Maybe I'll take one with Tom.
There you go.
Now, that would be fun. Let's do that. Let's make it happen, okay?
I know a guy.
All right, you know a guy. We can make that happen. All right. Hey, don't go far. We're going to be coming back in just a minute. We'll be talking about some more bullets, ammo, shooting, and no telling what all. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.